Hi everyone, I'm Fabio from Higher Hertz Project. Today I'm gonna show you the Synido TempoPAD. This is a really cool tool and it's really well made. Let me immediately say that it feels really great. It's really stable with your computer, and on the back you have all the rubber, basically really great. On the top main panel, as you can see, you have 16 pads that you can customize. You can decide all the keys you want to play. On the left side you have 4 different rotary knobs. These are clicked, you can listen to click, and 6 main buttons to manage all the things. Then here you have other 6 buttons to control basically the playback of your audio. Talking about the connection, you have here the Type-C connection to connect with your PC, and you have the Type-A connection, so USB. You have an additional DC 5V plug. This basically is really useful when you use the TempoPAD with your mobile application. So for example, with your iPad, iPhone, and so on and so forth. So basically, if you want to avoid the discharge of your phone, you can use this plug to power basically your Synido. Let me say, I don't know the correct pronounce, Synido, Synido, Synido. I listen different pronounce, so I'll call it Synido. I think it's the correct one. And of course you have the mini jack for the MIDI out. You have of course this cable provided by Synido, and of course also the USB cable. Let me introduce now how this Synido TempoPAD works. Well, basically you have these 16 pads. As you can see, now is shut down, there is no any color, but if I play, you can see the color blue. You have 3 different layers that you can customize: the blue layer, the red layer, and the green layer. In this case, I'm playing basically a keyboard, a synthesizer, so these 3 different layers will be a different portion of my keys. So for example, this, okay, and I can manage in this way. I can change the visualization of the pads. This is the first mode, so basically you cannot see any color, and only when you play you see some colors. But you can also change with the mode. Let me press mode, and as you can see in the red mode, basically I can see what is the dark keys and white keys, for example, like your keyboard. And these two in different colors are the octave, so upper octave, upper octave, upper octave. So you have different layers here, not limited to 3 different layers. Now let's return to the green mode, so the basic mode. If I hold and press it, as you can see, now I'm in the same mode. Now it's yellow, so I have always the different pad bank here, so the 3 banks, but I can see the color always on. So when I play, the relative pad will shut down in the color. Okay, I can change. Okay, then you can also decide to play in different velocity, and you have the velocity type. You have 4 different colors, and this means a different curve of your velocity. So, for example, let's go to here. This will depend also on the kind of synthesizer or your software that you're using. For example, this sound, specific sound, is always on 7%. I cannot play soft, but let me change. Let's go now to the impact in my Presonus session. Okay, now let's play softer. You can do that with the velocity type red. Let's change it. Now it's white. Really soft. Blue. Basically, it's really hard to play soft. Green. This is the most dynamic, and the green is linear, okay? So the velocity is linear. Or red is really always 100%. You have always 3 different layers for your 4 rotary knobs. As you can see right now is red, so you can assign to the 4 different knobs whatever you want. If you go to the knob bank green, now it's green, and you can assign different other parameter, and the same for the blue. So you have 12 different parameters that you can assign for these knobs. For example, now let's go again to the my time. So let's go to the red. Okay, for example, I've assigned that my 4 knob, as you can see, when I move it, is moving my mod wheel. Let's listen. My second knob, I've assigned this to the reverb, so as you can see, it's moving the mix of my reverb. Okay, so you can customize whatever you want. Then you have the tap tempo, and this is really useful. You can engage or not with the note repeat. Now it's disengaged, but if I press it, now is engaged. And as you can see, is blinking. If I press my pad, it's following the tap tempo, and this is also, for example, for a rhythmic part. Okay. I'm not a drummer, so I'm not the groove inside me. Sorry for this. So I can also go slower. Okay, you have the idea. So it's really useful, this one, because you can basically create a pattern without doing this every time. So you can press. Okay, and so on and so forth. So this is a really useful, really stable unit. Now I want to show you the software to control the unit. It's called Synido, and as you can see, you can control everything. You have the 3 different banks for the 4 knobs here. So you can see the bank A, bank B, and bank C. So you can customize all the MIDI channels. You can decide if it's a pitch bend or touch. Then you hear also the MIDI channel for the playback, and of course the 3 different banks, green, blue, and yellow. And you can customize if it's momentary, if it's toggle, and so on and so forth. So it's a really well made, in my opinion, and a really affordable unit to control your synthesizer, your drum machine, and so on and so forth, guys. It was Fabio for Hi-Hats Project. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.